The Christmas Eve episode of Live with Kelly and Mark was never meant to be historic. Festive, yes. Lighthearted, absolutely. But certainly not the episode that would result in Kelly Ripa, beloved morning show sprite and seasoned professional, being slapped with the most dramatic censorship the show had ever deployed, complete with a cartoon snowflake beep and a bold red, naughty list, graphic. No one saw it coming. Not the producers. Not the audience. Not even Mark Consuelos, who, after 27 years of marriage, believed he had heard Kelly say every colorful thing a human could say. But sometimes Christmas magic works in mysterious, chaotic ways. The calm before the storm. The show opened with the usual holiday cheer. The studio was decked out in mistletoe, garlands, and unnervingly perfect nutcracker soldiers with eyes that followed you around the room. The live audience wore ugly sweaters so aggressively festive they could cause retinal damage. Kelly, radiant in a candy cane-striped dress, waved both arms as she and Mark entered on cue. Mark had a sprig of holly pinned to his lapel. Kelly had a string of tiny jingle bells woven into her hair, an idea she'd later regret. "Good morning and Merry Christmas Eve," she chirped, sounding like a caffeinated elf. The show began smoothly. They discussed holiday traditions, favorite movies, and one unfortunate childhood story involving Mark, a malfunctioning Christmas light projector, and a neighbor's fence. Everything was cozy, controlled, and TV-friendly. But lurking just under the surface was the segment destined to doom them all: the Great Christmas Cookie Cook-Off. A baking disaster in the making. The plan was innocent enough. Invite a celebrity baker to demonstrate easy, family-friendly holiday cookies, while Kelly and Mark attempted to follow along. But the celebrity baker had called in sick at the last minute, and the producers, blinded by holiday panic, decided that the substitute baker would be an enthusiastic intern named Trevor. Trevor had enthusiasm, yes. Skill, no, absolutely not. His gingerbread men from the rehearsal looked like survivors of a natural disaster. His icing consistency could be legally classified as spackle. Still, Christmas Eve television demanded optimism. Trevor began well enough. He explained how to mix the dough, how to roll it out, how to cut the shapes. But when it came time to transfer the gingerbread men onto the baking sheet, disaster struck. Kelly lifted a gingerbread man with her spatula. It sagged. It drooped. It resembled an exhausted figure after a long commute. "Oh no, he's melting," Kelly laughed. Trevor rushed forward to help. In doing so, he elbowed the bowl of flour. The flour, in a dramatic cloud worthy of a Broadway finale, exploded across the table, and straight into Kelly's face. The audience gasped. Mark froze. Trevor apologized 16 times in 4 seconds. Kelly blinked through the flour, coating her eyelashes like frosted spiderwebs. "Well," she began, brushing her face, "looks like I." Then it happened. The profanity heard around the studio. No one is entirely sure what triggered the outburst. Some say it was the flour avalanche. Others believe it was the jingle bells in her hair, which began ringing with accusatory loudness every time she moved. Or perhaps it was the gingerbread man whose head fell off right in front of her, as if unable to endure the chaos. Whatever the cause, Kelly opened her mouth, and out came a word so startling, so absolutely not morning show appropriate, that the audio technician dove for the censor button like it was the winning buzzer on a game show. The studio monitors flashed a giant red beep. But because this was the Christmas Eve episode, the producers had programmed holiday-themed censorship graphics. The screen momentarily filled with falling snowflakes, a gingerbread cookie shaking its head disapprovingly, and the words, "Kelly, naughty list." The audience half gasped, half laughed. Mark's jaw dropped so far it almost touched the mixing bowl. Kelly, still dusted in flour, stared at the camera with wide, innocent eyes. "I'm so sorry. Did I just get censored with a snowflake beep?" she asked. "Yes," Mark said, still stunned. "Yes, you did." Trevor, trembling, tried to continue the demonstration. "And now we pipe the icing." But Kelly's gingerbread man collapsed fully this time, limbs falling off like a tragic cookie crime scene. She let out another spontaneous profanity, shorter, sharper, and definitely not in the approved holiday vocabulary list. Beep. A cartoon Santa appeared on the screen, shaking his head and writing Kelly's name on a digital scroll labeled, "Too Saucy for Christmas." The audience roared with laughter. Kelly covered her mouth. "I swear I'm usually a very wholesome person." Mark wiped his eyes, laughing. It's Christmas Eve. You're supposed to be spreading joy, not whatever this is. I think she's spreading the wrong kind of cheer, said Trevor. This earned him a death glare from Kelly and another jingle bell jingle that sounded strangely threatening. Trying to recover, the producers scrambled to regain control. A commercial break was imminent, but the chaos was too hypnotic to cut away. Kelly attempted to salvage her dignity. Okay, folks, we're going to finish these cookies, because I refuse to be upstaged by baked goods on national television. Mark held up his gingerbread man, whose face had melted into an expression of existential dread. Too late. Kelly laughed, thankfully, without profanity this time. She iced a cookie. The icing bag burst. A fountain of green icing shot across the counter and hit Mark squarely in the chest. He blinked. The audience erupted again. Kelly slapped both hands over her mouth. Mark leaned into the microphone and deadpanned, "Don't say it." But Kelly couldn't help herself. Another profanity slipped out. Not as dramatic as the first two, but still enough to trigger the peppermint-striped beep and a graphic of Mrs. Claus sighing and gently shaking her head. The aftermath: when they finally cut to commercial, the entire crew dissolved into laughter. Kelly apologized repeatedly, insisting she didn't normally swear, especially not during holiday episodes meant for cozy family vibes. Back live, Kelly addressed the camera. "I would like to formally apologize to Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, the elves, reindeer, gingerbread men, and anyone under the age of 50 watching today." Mark added, "She meant well. It was the flour, and the icing, and Trevor." Trevor raised his hand weakly. "Sorry again." By the end of the show, the incident was already being called the Christmas Eve cookie catastrophe of 2025. Fans online started using hashtags like #FeistyElfKelly and #JingleBellBeep. Kelly took it in stride. "At least," she said, "I made the holidays memorable." Mark nodded. "Yes, sweetie. For all the wrong reasons." She grinned. "Isn't that the Christmas spirit?" And so, in the true tradition of holiday specials, a lesson was learned. Not a wholesome one, but a memorable one. Never attempt live holiday baking with unstable icing, untested interns, or hairstyles containing jingle bells. Especially not on Christmas Eve. And absolutely not when you're Kelly Ripa.